Alright. This will be my final video I release covering the Overwatch 2 beta. This is not going to have any gameplay whatsoever. I may go into the training grounds. Actually, I may end up doing that anyway, just so that I can just have some things to do, some form of gameplay. So it's not just me at the title screen. But what I wanted to actually cover was actually just to go over like my final thoughts of this beta, my final thoughts for Overwatch 2 in general. So really, I had a mostly positive experience with this game. However, I was kind of made aware of several problems that still persist, and that still persist even in like Overwatch 1. And these problems are actually just something like, it's mostly like in regards to uh it's mostly in regards to the sorry, I just need to check something. I Yeah, my gameplay's been recorded. I couldn't actually see my Elgato thing on OBS because the wasn't slowed down enough. But the problems I had, main problems I had with the Watch 2 is the beta. It's the same problems I had with the Watch 1, and that's just simply the fact that it's just simply the fact that it's just the matchmaking thing is very problematic, and they actually kind of made things easier to get into matches, and they made it really easy to get into matches and watch to the beta because of the fact that they have a because of the fact that they have sorry, just getting really distracted. Because of the fact that they have open queue, but when Overwatch 2 releases, they know for a fact they won't have open queue for quick play, and instead they will have role queue. One thing that I really think that they should really try to figure out, is to revise the matchmaking system. Because if they're gonna like make role queue the only option for quick play and competitive, they need to make sure that the role queue is more balanced. I and by that I mean making it so that like every match doesn't like take like 10 minutes to get into. Like it doesn't take 10 minutes to get into a match every single time, because most players either play tank or DPS. Most players do not play as healer because they just don't think it is as fun. However, I feel like that argument may be actually kind of flawed, and it's just mainly because of the fact that I actually, personally, this is from someone who was a really shit healer. I main Lucio, but I don't use Lucio to the extent of his abilities. I also main Zenyatta, but I can barely survive as Zenyatta. I still feel like I have decent amount of fun playing a healer like Lucio and keeping the team alive. And it is just so satisfying when I'm able to save like a team from like a Diva ult, or really any ult, by just canceling it out with my sound barrier. There are also moments, like one real highlight, like real in the original like release of Overwatch, up until like the first Mercy rework. Back when Mercy's ult was her resurrect, before it was changed to a little ability, it was so satisfying as a Mercy player to be able to resurrect your entire team. And now her ult is relegated to uh, Valkyrie, which allows you to fly. It also allows you to heal your entire team at once rather than just a single person. It's really kind of it's still like an interesting ability. She's not only really hard to hit, but it's the satisfaction of Mercy's ult is just kind of like downgraded from what it used to be. So one suggestion I would consider, I would suggest for the development of and release of Overwatch 2 is for them to like revise some of the support heroes to make them more fun to play. And in specific, I feel like that Mercy and Zenyatta could use the most work. It is still, to me, it is still really fun to play heroes like Lucio and Moira and Brigitte. But there are heroes like Zenyatta who used to be, in my opinion, like really good competitive wise in Overwatch 1. Because of the fact that, oh, also Baptiste was also like really good hero support wise. But Zenyatta used to be like really good in Overwatch 1, but and it's mainly because of the fact that the two tank meta, or the two tank roll queue thing. And this whole thing with Discord just kind of makes it so that you can easily take out like you can easily take out a tank by just having an Orb Discord on him. But the problem is with that I realized with Zenyatta in the Overwatch 2 beta is the fact that he just feels completely underpowered in regards to like every other support hero. He could still like really deal a crazy amount of damage with his full charge. However, he's still, in my opinion, like the weakest support hero to play. He is still, these abilities he has, the Orb of Discord and the Orb of Harmony, are still like really good abilities in theory. But it just feels like it was more effective in Overwatch 1. The reason why I say that is in Overwatch 1, like it seems like people just learn to prioritize tanks over everything else. Because there's two tanks. And really even like taking down both tanks before the other tank could respawn at times was a real challenge. But what was really made things a lot easier was the fact that Zenyatta was able to make taking out tanks a little bit easier to do with his Orb of Discord. The problem with Zenyatta in Overwatch 2 beta is the fact that if you put an Orb of Discord on an enemy, most players in the beta, at least from my experience, they don't actually focus on the tanks. They just kind of focus on everyone. And this was also a problem to an extent in Overwatch 1, where if you're a Zenyatta player, there are times when people just don't focus on a character. You have an Orb of Discord on, and that's partly due to like a communication error, because sometimes people just don't know there's Orb of Discord on an enemy. However, in Overwatch 1, like players are kind of like trained to focus on tanks before any other hero. And now that we have like the one tank versus and two DPS and supports, that makes things a little bit more difficult. The other problem that I have with Overwatch 2 beta, and this is something that I really hope that will be fixed in that will be fixed with the launch of Overwatch 2, is another problem with matchmaking, and it is as I stated before, like I touched on matchmaking a little bit, I believe, but I don't think I really got too far into it because I kind of like delegated to talking about supports. And really the problem with supports in Overwatch 2 beta. But another problem with matchmaking is the fact that the very fact that have a role queue, the way role queue set up, it makes it like very difficult to find a match. And I suggested in the previous stream that one method to do that, to like fix this problem, is to actually assign players roles. Like get rid of the whole role queue selection. Instead, just force them into a lobby, and when someone joins, they say, "Oh, like the game tells you, oh, you're DPS, oh, you're tank, oh, you're support." This may seem like a really bad idea on paper, but the more I think of it, the more I think about it, the more I think it could actually be a good idea. And the reason why I think that is, people that have a problem with playing support are likely people that just don't really play support at all, and they only say they don't like it because they don't really have that much experience playing support. I guarantee you, if some players play a character like Mara or Lucio or even to some extent Baptiste, they'll probably enjoy the game with their unique playstyles than if they were to choose a hero like a glass cannon like Zenyatta, who is very easy to kill in my opinion. Or a very kind of a boring, in my opinion, like a very boring hero to play as Mercy, where you're just have like a staff that either heals or damage buffs and you're not really a primary attacker. Choosing a character where you can just be a primary attacker as well as a primary healer like Mara, Lucio, Baptiste, maybe a better idea overall, and maybe like a better experience overall for new players if they Blizzard decides to do like the whole World Cube rework like I suggested. However, this is likely not the only option for World Cube. There's probably other solutions, I just can't think of any. I also suggested that because one problem that is still present in Overwatch 2 that was present in Overwatch 1 is the whole toxic players versus the whole toxic players and throwers that is prevalent in Overwatch 1. The problem that I have with Overwatch 1 is I have played like many matches of competitive, which at least I feel like I have, but I really only participated in 3 total seasons. However, I've only completed the placements of 1. There were times when I actually played matches and actually like quit midway through before finishing matches, and that is partly on me. That's not partly on me. That is wholly on me. But most of the time when I get upset, most of the time when I feel like I have to leave, when I play a match where I just see like someone just throw the match or are very toxic or just kind of like blame others for the failing of the team, and this is a problem with Overwatch 2 as well. I've actually seen like some videos of some toxic players in Overwatch 2 beta. And this is not a problem that will likely go away. However, in a previous live stream, I suggested an idea for fixing the problem with Overwatch to the matchmaking system, and that is quite simply to actually have a what I can't think. To actually have like a tiered lobby system. This is maybe a really bad idea, but it is something that came up like off the top of my head. Just having a tiered lobby system where like based on how well you do, you get placed into different lobbies. So for an example, if you I'm honestly gonna change off of Torbjorn because I get a feeling that Torbjorn kills can be very distracting. But if you play a match and you actually try and win, you stay on like an objective for a certain period of time. Like the game actually monitors your actions, and they actually the game monitors your actions, and they actually recognizes that hey, you're actually trying to do good. You're actually trying to win. You're doing well, whatever, and like. This will probably be done with some sort of AI or something. I'm sure you have the technology to do it, but just find some way for the game to monitor your actions, your gameplay, and just it puts you in lobbies of people that are also your similar skill level. This is in some way could be reflected by the tiers of competitive, where you have like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, etc. However, this is not going to be to the level of detail as Overwatch competitive, but rather it is just going to be like 1 or 2 lobbies, where you have like a team of people that actually try, and you have a team of people that are the typical like toxic or throwers that just ruin the experience for everyone. And you can actually get out of a lobby of toxic and throwers if you actually like change your game. if you actually make more of an attempt to actually do better and to actually improve rather than just to constantly just attack your teammates or to throw the match. This is a very, very flawed idea. However, I feel like that with enough tweaks by people that understand the game better than I do, it may be like a good option to fixing the problem that exists with Overwatch 2. This is not a problem that is just unique or new to Overwatch. This is a problem that exists in Overwatch 1 and it completely ruins the experience. In my last live stream of Overwatch 2, the beta, I actually got so mad to the point that I ended the stream 2 hours early, which is something that I very rarely do. And I ended the stream early because of the fact that I just simply just got so mad when I encountered my very first experience of a toxic throwing character. And it just completely soured my mood because I've seen these kinds of things often in Overwatch 1 and it just completely ruins the experience for me. Now what happened was, if you have not watched that live stream, it's only an hour and like 7 minutes long. But what happened was I was playing a match on Busan. I felt like I was playing Lucio, and I felt like I was like the only one making an effort to make it towards a point. This was a 0-2 loss for me, or a 2-0 loss, however we want to phrase it. But the reason why we lost is the very first round. One of the many times I died, I was often like spectating a Genji. First time I died, I spectated a Genji where he was actually like using a emote to dance with the with the enemy Genji and actually trying to make friends with the Genji. It's something that I see too often, and oftentimes I frequently see this in competitive watchable things. This is a problem this is something that is common in quick play. It's something that's common in pretty much every game mode in Overwatch 1, where you have people that just don't try. And the problem I have with this is this is not like a casual multiplayer game like Call of Duty. This is not like a casual multiplayer game like I don't know, like Fortnite or something. I don't know. This is a game, a very competitive Overwatch multiplayer game that where people actually try and win and actually have a good time. This is a team-based objective game. And one real reason for you to lose is the fact that either A, you are not communicating with the team, or B, your team is kind of desynchronized because they are just very angry or hostile to one another. This often happens with teammates with the toxic thrower, where if you have a teammate like a tank or a DPS that attacks their healer, the healer would not be inclined to keep you alive because they may not like you. I have seen like several times, like several videos where I would see like a video spectating a like a healer, and they would like see a encounter like a DPS hero that just completely crashes him and say, "Oh, we're losing because our Mercy sucks" or whatever. And they're just completely like complaining. They just trash talk their team. They do this. They do that, and then sooner or later the healer just decides to not keep them alive, and it just makes them even more upset. When you have a situation like that, from my experience, it actually kind of causes a desynchronization with the effectiveness of the team. You have people that just completely, your team essentially becomes like a situation where you just cannot work well together. You cannot work well to accomplish an objective because you are so angry that you're often like attacking others, or you are not like able to keep the entire team alive because of the fact that you just don't want to like keep your tank alive or keep your DPS alive. That may in fact make a difference in the fight. But because of the fact that they are toxic, because of the fact that they are just constantly attacking you, it because of the fact they are constantly attacking you, you just don't want to keep them alive. You just don't want to interact with them. You don't want to do anything, and you end up losing the match in the process. This is why this is a problem with Overwatch. This is why I got so upset in Thursday's live stream of Overwatch 2. It's because of the fact that people do this all the time. People get toxic, people throw. And when they do that, it just kind of causes a major desynchronization with it. If I stated this in the comments of my live stream, but not the comments of my live stream, but the comment of my video of the live stream on YouTube. But if this was a match where we just where I did not even see my Genji just do something like that, I would have a completely different experience. I would have a completely different take on the game overall. I would be more passive about it. I would say, oh well, GG, it was a good match, but they were clearly better than us. But when I saw that Genji just throw the match and try to make friends with the team, and then at the very next round, I literally just sent him a message and say, if you don't even try to win, if you don't even try to win the match, then don't play the game. And then he just literally just says, cry about it. Just a typical toxic thing to do. When you are confronted, you attack the person that is confronting you. And that is just so stereotypical. That is just so annoying to deal with, because you can't do anything. You could get mad. You could just say, oh well, you're the one that's not contributing, and then they'll just continue to insult you. This is a problem with Overwatch 2. This is a problem with Overwatch 1. This is not a problem that will likely go away. However, if they readjust the matchmaking system to try to like do something to combat the toxic or the toxic players or the throwers, this may lead to like a much better, enjoyable experience for the community overall. These are really my main concerns with the matchmaking of Overwatch 2. I have not really found too many problems with Overwatch 2 in general in regards to the matchmaking. However, these are the main ones. There are some heroes that I feel like are in desperate need of being reworked. I mentioned Zenyatta before. I mentioned how I feel like needs to be reworked. Another thing that I feel like, there's a couple other heroes I feel like need to be reworked, and a couple of heroes I think are fine. Many heroes are fine as is. I feel like that they need to like revise Orisa's playstyle, because she just does not. Their goal in making every character viable rather than unique has not been met yet. Before, when Overwatch 2 was announced, they said that Blizzard said that they were changing their stance on heroes, and instead of making every hero unique in Overwatch 1, they want to make every character viable in Overwatch 2. They did this. They actually, for the most part, I feel like they actually succeeded with this. However, for heroes like Orisa, she definitely feels a lot underpowered in comparison to how she was in Overwatch 1. In Overwatch 1, she actually had like a little bit of everything. She was a very powerful character in Overwatch 1. However, she feels like very, very underpowered in Overwatch 2. And after I spent like watching several live streams of me watching watching some more live streams of the Overwatch League, I'm not really sure that what Blizzard has succeeded in making every character viable if the Overwatch League still uses like a finite number a set number of heroes, and only really a couple of teams have branched out apart from the standard like 5 or 8 heroes. Many of the Overwatch League teams often always default to either a Winston or a Zarya. And also in some cases, a Doomfist. Very rarely do I see a Diva, a Sigma. I never see an Orisa, and very rarely do I see a Reinhardt. In DPS, the most common heroes I have seen in the Overwatch League is Soldier and Genji. Occasionally, I will see a Hanzo, a Widowmaker, a Mei, a Pharah, and a Tracer. Some teams, and also a Reaper. Some teams use Ashe, very rarely. Some teams use Echo, very rarely. Some teams use Sombra, very rarely. This is actually quite a lot of DPS specs. So you gotta remember this is taking into consideration of like 20 or something, somewhere around 20 league teams. I rarely see like someone play Bastion. I rarely see someone play Zildjian. I rarely see someone play Symmetra in an actual full match, and not just to have their team like leave the spawn a little bit faster. I rarely see someone playing Junkrat, and I rarely see someone playing Torbjorn. For support, pretty much every single support hero, which is surprising, is actually utilizing the Overwatch League. And it's really kind of dependent on the situation and the map, and really the player in themselves. This is actually quite a lot of heroes on the phrases, but there are so many teams that default to Soldier and Genji. That default to either Winston or Zarya, and so many teams that default to Ana and Lucio. Some teams use Baptiste, some teams use Moira, some teams use Mercy, some teams use Zenyatta. It's really dependent on the team themselves. But if their goal was to if Blizzard's goal was to make every character viable, I feel like that we would see a lot more teams branching out and using characters like Junkrat, branching out and using characters like Torbjorn, branching out and using heroes like Hammond or Orisa or Roadhog. Roadhog is apparently like really, really bad to watch too, apparently. I personally never really consider him to be that bad, but I'm just a casual Roadhog main. Really, Diva is my primary main. But also Diva is another character that I do not see played that often in Overwatch 2. And this is really going from my knowledge of the kickoff clash. I've not watched Summer Madness or whatever it's called. Mid-season Madness, whatever it's called. But if Blizzard's goal was to make every character viable, I'm not really convinced they have succeeded in just that. For characters like Orisa, that feel like very underpowered or very underwhelming in comparison to more powerful heroes like Doomfist or Sigma or Zarya or even Winston, like in Overwatch League. So they need to like revise how they like certain heroes, and Orisa is definitely a character they need to revise. I would also consider heavily revising Roadhog. To some extent, I feel like they need to tweak McCree slightly. I'm not really sure he needs like a complete overhaul. However, this is mainly just due to my personal experience. You really need to be like really close to this. Your bomb is essentially the same range as McCree's flashbang in Overwatch 1. However, there are so many characters that just outrange him that just kind of makes him very less viable, and you are very rarely able to get in close and able to take the bomb. There are some maps where he actually is like really good in like close range, but really just map dependent, like Lijiang Towers, and so that's some maps in Lijiang Tower. the control center I would consider to be like a good McCree map. However, you have like characters like Junkrat that just, I believe, is actually like a very powerful character in as of right now in the beta of Overwatch 2. However, he just kind of feels a bit underwhelming in comparison to some of the other heroes. Metro definitely needs to be reworked, and for God's sake, Sombra, the way that Sombra is currently designed, where she deals more damage to hack targets, they need to tweak Sombra so that she does a little bit less damage so that people have more time to react whenever they get hacked. Because so often, whenever you get hacked by Sombra, the Sombra is if you are 200 health character, you're dead. If you are a tank, you may be able to survive, you may be able to counter Sombra. However, the very fact that she is able to deal so much damage to hack targets makes her a very deadly hero. Sombra is honestly the most popular hero in the Overwatch 2 beta because of how broken she is. So they need to tweak Sombra. They need to like nerf her damage ratio over hack targets. I have no problem with her dealing more damage to hack targets. I just feel like she deals too much damage. So if they lower the amount of damage she deals to hack targets, I think it'll be good. They need to like tweak. I feel like they need to like do something to make Symmetra more viable. They need to do something to make Torbjorn more viable, and they definitely need to do something to make Yada more viable. They may need to like rework a little bit on Moira because her necrotic orb may just kind of makes the game like less fun. Because if you are playing a character like, if you are playing a character like Reaper, you get your Death Blossom, you get near a team, you use your ult. Mara puts her necrotic orb on you, you are essentially not able to get any kills from quite possibly one of the most deadly ults in the game. And this is a problem with Mara. She just makes it just, if you are competent with Mara, and you are able to just use your necrotic orb to completely negate any and all damage ults, it just makes it very not fun to play against. I was gonna say unfun, but I'm not sure that is a word. So you need to, if you're watching this, Blizzard, you need to like revise Mara's kit a little bit and either nerf Necrotic Orb or just change it altogether. Because as a way Overwatch 2 beta is currently sitting, he is just not a very fun hero to play against if you are playing like a character with a DPS hero, or you are playing like a damage based tank like Hammond or Doomfist or Diva or Roadhog, because it just kind of negates like any impact you would have and trying to change the fight with. These are really my primary concerns with the heroes that need to be changed. Now, I think that actually does it for like my overall problems with the Overwatch 2 beta. I really doubt that Blizzard will actually watch this, but just in case they do, even though I listed like a lot of problems I had with it, I still had overall a really good experience. I'm really kind of sad that I was not able to get. I'm decent with Sojourn, but I definitely need a lot more practice with her, and I'm really kind of sad that I will not be able to experience her again until October 4th. If you are doing a new Overwatch 2 beta, I would very much like to be able to get into it again. Just please don't make it exclusive to PC because I am an Xbox player. I'm a little bit disappointed I was not able to experience a full map of Parisa. I was just very unlucky and it just never showed up in rotation. For the most part, I did enjoy my time playing with the Overwatch 2 beta. It really is like a breath of fresh air. My only real problem with the Overwatch 2 beta is the fact that I was never really able to experience the whole 5v5, and not really the 5v5, but the intended role queue thing, Because too often in open queue, people just choose like multiple tanks, a couple DPS, and one healer, and it just kind of like ruins. It just does. You're not able to play the game how I believe Blizzard would have intended you to play it, and it's because of the fact that World Queue just takes so long to get. And that's I already touched on that problem, but I despite that I still found myself like really enjoying the game. I really would have liked to see like what changes they were gonna make to the arcade, but unfortunately that was not available for the beta. I'm really kind of curious to see if they are gonna create like new game modes for arcade, or if they were just gonna use the same old maps. I'm honestly, because of the fact they were doing the seasons, I honestly wouldn't mind like seeing like random uh Overwatch one event game mode appearing on rotation. Like imagine like if you are like in season one, like randomly during the week you would see like a very random like um a game mode from the events, and you actually have a chance to actually play those game modes once again in Overwatch 2, because I don't think that they are going to I don't think they're going to God can't think. I don't think they're going to do events as we have typically expected them in Overwatch 2. However, as we typically expect them in Overwatch 1. However, I do want to point out something that I noticed, and that is the fact that you can see there is a price tag on these skins. So I am thinking if this is intentional. I'm thinking that when Overwatch 2 releases, you'll be able to buy these event skins you missed. And if that is the case, I will be very, very happy. Because I do not like to miss anything, and it is very, very hard for me to earn like event skins when most of the time I get duplicate boxes. But if in Overwatch 2 you are able to buy previous event skins, I will be very happy because yeah. If I can buy these event skins, I no longer have to worry about it. I didn't even know Diva had this skin. God, that looks amazing. But that's something that I noticed when I first started playing the Overwatch 2 beta. But if that is the case, if you are able to buy event skins in Overwatch 2, good job, Blizzard. You made me a fan. Not really a fan, but this decision I am definitely a fan of. I only kind of wish we were able to do that before and not just only at these sad events. But that really kind of covers like my overall problems, my overall concerns with Overwatch 2. Despite me covering like a bunch of problems that I had with it, do not take this to mean that Overwatch 2 is a bad game. I really enjoyed my experience with Overwatch 2, and honestly, I really think that if Blizzard fixes irons out the kinks with Overwatch 2, it could stand to be better than Overwatch 1 overall. And I'm just really happy that it seems like that Blizzard is actually listening to the community, actually making changes based on what the community sees and actually wishes for certain heroes and certain maps and that kind of thing. And I'm really happy that Blizzard has actually communicated, because there was like a long period of time in Overwatch 1 where we got nothing from Blizzard and we thought that Overwatch 1 was just a dead game. Blizzard listens. Hopefully one day they will see this video and they will say, oh wow, he has some good experience. Oh wow, he has some good ideas. Oh, his ideas are interesting, but it would be better if we did this. You know, it just would be nice if Blizzard saw this video. I really don't think they will, because I average like 0 viewers on my YouTube channel. But just in case they do, longtime fan Blizzard, been a fan since 2017. Please just make this game a success, because this is my favorite multiplayer game. I just do not want this game to die. I've been saying like several things in regards to like World of Warcraft and Diablo, It kind of makes me like really worried about Blizzard. Please, Blizzard, make this game a success. I am ending the recording here. Thank you guys for watching. This will be the last update I make for Overwatch 2. Just basically giving my final thoughts on this game. The very next time I play this game, if they do not release another beta, the very next time I play this game will be on the launch date of Overwatch 2, which is October 4th. Ending the recording here. Thank you guys for watching. See y'all next time. Adios.